Joining me now to discuss is Evan Dobbelle. He served as Chief of Protocol of the United States under Jimmy Carter. He was also the DNC's National Treasurer and then National Chairman of the 1980 Carter-Mondale campaign. Evan, thank you so much for joining us. Terrific resume, and glad to have you with us today on this historic, on these historic moments that we've been watching throughout the morning. President Carter lived a tremendous life. So first, I want to ask you about your relationship with the former president and how you will remember him before you pay your tribute in person at the nation's capital later this week.
Well, the legacy that he has left for the country is even more personalized for my wife, Kit, and I, in the sense that he trusted us to become part of the administration. He took a young 30-year-old mayor of Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and made me Chief of Protocol of the United States with the rank of ambassador, replacing Shirley Temple. And the relationship there is traveling around the country and around the world with the President of the United States and meeting heads of state and kings and queens, understanding that the President of the United States is both the head of state and the head of government, which is unusual in the world. And then my wife succeeded me as Chief of Protocol, and then I went on to the political. The President said, "You've done penance now as Chief of Protocol, so now you have to go raise money and run the campaign." So we had a good, close relationship when we saw him often. We went to Atlanta a number of times, played a role in the Carter Center in the beginning and helping to raise the money. So it's a personal loss, but it's a loss of a person who was not only an extraordinary citizen in the 44 years he had after his presidency, but he was a consequential president of the United States. And the mourning that we have is eased by the legacy now is the journalists like yourself and others are now retelling the story that I would think most of the country never heard, just never heard. They weren't old enough to have heard. It's been so long. It's 50 years since he got elected.
It is. And I also wanted to share something that we did earlier this week. I spoke with legendary musician Chuck Leavell, who not only performed at Carter's 100th birthday party, but knew Carter very well. He was in the Allman Brothers Band. He's now the musical director of the Rolling Stones. And for people who know the musical history, it was the Allman Brothers Band, along with Jimmy Buffett and many others, Willie Nelson, who helped get Carter into office through doing fundraising when a lot of people didn't know Jimmy Carter. Let's listen to some of this interview.
We believed in the man. You know, don't forget, this was post-Watergate. There was a lot of distrust of government. And Jimmy Carter was a honest man, a man of character, of deep, good, honest character. And we all felt that. And I think that America felt that at the time. And that's why he was elected. So, you know, we were supporters right from the get-go.
That's been one of my favorite interviews, talking to Chuck, because the importance of his relationship with musicians really ended up mattering as he got into the White House. And you mentioned younger people may not know the history of Carter, but they probably don't know that part either. But you must have known about his love of music.
He was very close to Greg Allman. He was close to Tom T. Hall, Skeeter Davis, Willie Nelson, and others. Had a open invitation. They show up at the South Gate and they could go right in. It's just an extraordinary connection between he and music. And when he used to work in the private office of the president, he always had on classical music. He loved music of all kinds, but it also helped in raising money because you could use that matching money for the campaign, and they didn't have to charge you, if you will.
Right.
But even $5 or $10 tickets when you have 15,000 people is pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, it adds up, and it got him to the White House, and we look forward to your perspective moving forward as we honor and remember the former president, Evan Dobbelle, former Chief of Protocol of the United States under Jimmy Carter. We thank you so much for your time today and sharing some stories with us. We appreciate you as we will continue to watch the motorcade through the day. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, and to you as well.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.